Baccarat. Some common features of good players. In this video, I want to define that good players are great players who have the following features in common. First, they are never in a hurry and are not greedy. You would empathize with that they could look relaxed. But you would wonder how they could be not greedy in the real money game. Do you remember MLR, maximum loss rate, and MPR, minimum profit rate? They usually set MLR and MPR low to 5% to 20%. And instead of looking at the invisible high place, focusing on going up the stairs one at a time. There is a height that is difficult to conquer at one time, but climbing one step at a time is not so difficult. So once they set goals and strategies, they just do it faithfully. They have a lot of experience in achieving goals in that way. Second, their chips on enjoying are limited to the excess amount of MPR. They don't be relaxed at all until they achieve MPR. Those who can enjoy games despite losing money are only tourists. So good players secure MPR and then play games in another way by picking the strategies they want to enjoy the most with that spare chips. For example, if one of the good players started a game with $10,000 as a bankroll and set MLR, MPR 20% and won 30%, his or her spare chips would be $1,000. He or she begins to enjoy the game with $1,000, regardless of any rule. Even though he or she loses $1,000, there would be no load in mind. It's because the goal of that day was already achieved. But the more funny thing is, they sometimes win pretty more money when they play games for fun. Third, they're always modest appearance. Fourth, they are willing to give a reward for good behavior. Two young men sat at the baccarat table where only one aged man had been sitting. They were lucky and won a few times consecutively. And then one of them started to be interested in the aged man. In his eye, the aged man looked very plain and didn't have much. He noticed that the aged man had no more than $100 worth of chips and didn't bet while they won a few. And then the young man thought that the aged man couldn't bet comfortably because of a lack of money. So he suddenly handed the aged man $100 worth of chips. Then the aged man refused, but he couldn't help accepting good behavior of the young man. Of course, the other young man couldn't understand him and teased him for being naive. But after about 5 minutes, the aged man took one chip out of his pocket in slow motion and placed a bet. That chip was $10,000, and the aged man was very calm as usual. And after winning it, the aged man's face didn't change at all. Two young men were puzzled by that sight. But what made them more bewildered was what happened next. When the aged man won the $10,000 chip, he turned it into 10 chips of $1,000 and gave one to the young man who gave him $100 chip. And he left the table by saying only one word: "Thank you." I think that a good player with wisdom, good character, and the desire to do good is ideal than a great player with only excellent skills. Looking at it the other way round, those who have wisdom, good character, and the desire to do good are likely to be good players. After all, Baccarat, with its centuries of history, is a game that asks us to have those things. Subscription and like are free, but it's the best investment. Thank you.